Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, I want to talk about Bree Newsome, the woman who supposedly, on her own accord, climbed the flagpole at the South Carolina Capitol building and took down the Confederate flag before being arrested. This morning, I was listening to Karen Hunter speak about this incident, and she was outraged that after this woman took down the flag and was arrested, that whoever had a black man go back out and raise the flag. If you look for the media headlines on this, they say he's unidentified. Nowhere can you find his name. But it's so obvious what the media is trying to do by have a black person go out and put back up the flag. All part of the psychological operations, all part of the tormenting, all part of the purposeful hoax that's meant to provoke and divide, which is what our mainstream media is here for. I don't know how people haven't woken up to that in the year 2015. The media is painfully bad at what they do, at least in my mind. I mean, their stories are completely unbelievable. The details never add up. They just treat us like we're morons. But time and time again, people fall for it, and it just kills me as a human being. That's why I do these videos, to show people what's really going on. This flag here has been flying in South Carolina since 1961, the 100-year anniversary of the Civil War, which began in 1861. And more specifically, it began on April 12th, 1861 in Charleston, where she took down the flag. If you read about the history of the Civil War, nobody died in that initial battle on April 12th, just a horse. The first casualty of the Civil War was a week later, April 19th. April 12th, the battle begins in Charleston. April 19th, the first person dies in Baltimore when graycoats are confronted by an angry mob of protesters. Now, where do these dates sync up in recent history? They sync up with the Freddie Gray story. Freddie Gray was arrested and injured April 12th and died April 19th in Baltimore. The first death in the Civil War was in Baltimore, April 19th. The Freddie Gray story comes exactly 66 days before the church shooting. And what's interesting is Freddie Gray equals 66, and so does South Carolina in Pythagorean gematria. And the stories are 66 days apart. So, we talked about the number 61, how it connects to the flag in South Carolina and the beginning of the Civil War, which happened in 1861, 100 years earlier. The woman who took down the flag is named Bree Newsome, which happens to have a gematria of 61. What else? This whole debate over the Confederate flag launched after the church shooting in Charleston. The word church has a gematria of 61. And let it be known that the current president, Barack Hussein Obama, was born in the year 61. In the recent church shooting, the number 74 was coded all over it. Remember that Walter Scott was shot on 4/4, April 4th, the 47-year anniversary of the MLK assassination. 74 days later, 74 days, was June 17th, the date of the church shooting. These events were separated by 74 days. The name of the shooter at the church shooting, Dylan Stormroof, sums to 74. He was arrested on Interstate 74. He shot up Bible study class. Bible study class sums to 74. He killed Senator Clementa C. Pinckney, name gematria of 74. He did it on Calhoun Street. Calhoun equals 74. And Jewish gematria, it equals 322, like Yale Skull and Bones. It should be noted that the first Bible is credited with a 322 publishing date, March 22nd. The church was established by somebody named Morris Brown, who has a name gematria of 74. The word Masonic is 74, and so often it is coded into these hoaxes. Notice that this woman with the 61 name to take down the flag hanging since 61 climbed a flagpole, which happens to have a gematria of 74. The reason flagpole sums to 74 is because of how well coded out our language is. Notice that people write God G-D. G's the seventh letter, D's the fourth. So G-D is a lot like 7-4. In gematria, the God number is 26. The English alphabet is 26 letters. God is 7 plus 15 plus 4 equals 26. The word flag is 6 plus 12 plus 1 equals 7. Flag also has the God gematria of 26. In English gematria, you multiply the letter value times 6. So God and flag, both of them, equal 156 in English gematria. The reason I'm telling you this is because South Carolina in simple English gematria equals 156, just like Walter Scott equals 156. All of these stories are connected. They're a web. They're telling a tale to us. They're leading us down a narrative, the narrative that the mainstream rulers want to take us down. All of these numbers are tributes to God. But when the people who do this, the Zionists, the Freemasons, their God is Satan. They worship Satan. So all of these are tributes to Satan. The word Lucifer also happens to sum to 74. Just like Jesus and cross. The only state with a gematria of 74 out of the 50 is the 33rd state, Oregon. Jesus was crucified on the cross at 33. At least so we're told. With regards to this woman, Truth Seeker, she has a YouTube account. You can check out her videos. Everybody's complimenting her for taking down the flag. On July 4th, 2012, she sings the Star-Spangled Banner. She's a talented person. By watching her videos, you can see that she's an actress and an entertainer. And many of us are theorizing that these people who participate in these hoaxes are actors and actresses. Here, Bree Newsome gives us some very clear evidence that yes, our theories are likely true. Bree Newsome was an actress long before she was an activist, as she's being told now to be in the mainstream media. Let's watch her take down the flag real quick right here.
I know, sir. I'm prepared. Ma'am. 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 Come down off the pole. Ma'am, come down off the pole. Ma'am. Ma'am. Go. You come against me with hatred and oppression and violence. I come against you in the name of God. This flag comes down to
She comes against you in the name of God, she said. And we were just talking about how God and flag are connected through numerology and gematria. Of course, a person might say this with their own free will without being aware of any of this. But what I suspect is that we truly are watching an actress, we're watching something made for TV, and she's reciting lines that she's told to say while she's up there.
We'd like to. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I'm trying to come down, sir. I'm going to comply. I promise you. I'm coming down. I'm prepared to be arrested. But I can't. I said when you pull your leg, I can't. I can't get to it.
That's one of those things when it's, that's what the Lord calls it.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Woo! He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters.
Look at there. That's the word of God. What are they arresting him for?
So there it is, more stories by the numbers, Truth Seeker. From Bree Newsome, a former actress. Or I shouldn't say former. Looks like she's still performing. So that's pretty much the message. I just want to show you how redundant they are with these numbers, how they're syncing up with all the stories. As I've said from the beginning of this blog, our mainstream media is a web of stories, an ongoing epic, all coded with related numerology and gematria. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.